Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is the Spaz Devil. Now, if you watched my video on the King Black Dragon, you will know that I said I'm giving 10 million GP away to a lucky subscriber to mark 100 subscribers to the channel. Now, one of my earliest subscribers, his name is King Grail, he saw this on a live stream and said that he wanted to donate 5 million GP to give away to a second place winner, which is such a lovely thing to do. It's great to see this engagement from the community. So in second place and earning himself 5 million GP is Vittorio Hui, which I believe is how it's pronounced in Portuguese. And in first place, bagging himself a cool 10 million GP is Heliage Vis. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's get into today's video. It is a good one. I've put a lot of effort into this for you. Thank you so much so far. Let's jump in. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the no bullshit approach to killing Duke Sucellus, whether or not it is for the Desert Treasure 2 quest or to pet hunt what is one of the sickest new pets in the entire game, the Baron. Now, this is an extremely profitable boss, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you absolutely everything. There's going to be tiles in the description. I'm going to teach you game mechanics, and I'm going to show you, honestly, the best way to do this. Forget all the methods you've seen. Forget the videos you've seen. If you are not looking for a sweaty bullshit guide, this is the one for you. Now, jumping into the gear setup. Now, you could use a Nezanot helm. We're going to talk about the helm slot first. I would suggest and recommend to you to take a Serpentine helm because it's going to do consistent poison damage against a boss that has very high defense, and it will work out to better DPS than using a Nezi helm or using an alternative. I think you should use a Serpentine helm, especially if you're learning this boss. Moving over to the cape slot, at this stage of the game, you should absolutely have a fire cape, and don't worry, a video on that is coming. If you can do one better, Inferno cape. Now, for the amulet slot, an Amulet of Blood Fury is best in slot here. It is fantastic with dealing with the chip damage. It will passively heal you. It will extend your trips. This is a great amulet to take with on so many melee bosses. In the ammo slot, we are going to be taking a Blessing because, of course, we want that prayer bonus. Now, Dragon Defender or a Vernic Defender is obviously going to be best in slot in the shield slot, and then of course we're taking Bandos with us. We're going to pair that up with the Primordial Boots. Of course you could use Dragon Boots, but if you do have Prims, they are obviously going to be best in slot here. Now the next one is a very interesting one. Take a Warrior's Ring Imbued because these bosses are weak to slash. Now the Warrior's Ring Imbued is 1,000th the price of a Bellator ring, which is the best in slot, which is the best for slash bonus, for 1,000th the price. 100 million GP to about 100,000 GP. It's not even comparable. For our glove slot, Barrow's gloves are fine, but Ferocious gloves, you should have them by now, are absolutely the best in slot here. Finally, moving over to our main weapon, we are going to be using the Osmunten's Fang set to slash. I don't want to hear nothing about the Arclight being great against demons. If you have tried to kill this boss with the Arclight, I don't care if it's a 4-tick weapon versus a 5-tick weapon. It's fucking dog shit. Bring with you and Osmunten's Fang, set that shit to slash, and as you're going to see, the slash bonus you're going to get from this weapon with this setup is still insane. If we have a look at the stats over here, you're getting plus 144 to slash and 157 to strength bonus. You are going to melt the fuck out of this guy with it. You do not need to be bringing anything other than this. Now, if you have more money and you can bring with you a scythe or, you know, something that's a better level than this, then fine, go ahead. But for the 20 million that an Osmunten's Fang costs, it's best in slot literally everywhere. It is a godsend to all RuneScape players from the heavens above. This is a truly ridiculous weapon and should be used to slay all of the melee bosses across the game. Now, I said I was going to cover everything with this boss, and I bloody intend to. Let's talk about how to get to the boss, and after that, we're going to talk about special attack weapons and why you are bringing the wrong fucking one with you. Now, the best method to get there is obviously the Ring of Shadows, but if you haven't unlocked that yet, you can buy Icy Basalt off the Grand Exchange. It's about 1,000 GP each, and it will teleport you straight to Weiss. It's incredibly close to get to Duke Sucellus, and until you unlock your Frozen Tablet, this is one of the, if not the best way to get there if you have not unlocked the frozen tablet yet to stick into your Ring of Shadows. So if you're doing it for the quest or you just haven't gotten that drop yet, let's see how quickly this gets you here. So again, it is a one-click stackable teleport, which will give you a lovely animation and take you straight to Weiss. All you need to do from here is click over this little stepping stone right here highlighted in green. Once you get over this, you are going to click through the gate. If you remember whatever quest it was where you're trying to get into the pants of some ugly troll bitch, the one that's stood on her own fucking over here, you're going to come down these stairs, you're going to go through into this little cave, and then essentially you are straight at the entrance to Duke Sucellus, where you can go and slap his fucking head in. If you have received the frozen tablet drop, you can go to your Ring of Shadows, click teleport, and you're going to go to the Goric dungeon. Now this is charged up, I believe, with blood runes. It will give you thousands of fucking charges, and as you can see, it takes you directly to Duke Sucellus. It's the best way of getting there. Now let's talk about special attack weapons quickly, and I'm just gonna say on record right now, you don't fucking need a spec weapon. I did 700 kills just with a Fang, no spec weapon, and I still ended up getting the pet and every drop that I wanted to get, and I made a fucking shitload of money on this boss. But if you are going to take a spec weapon, let's talk about them all. Now, the Bandos God Sword, of course, has a special attack which will lower the defense. Now, this is really, really good and seems to be one of the go-to weapons for bringing to Duke Sucellus. Now, it is very RNG based. You could hit fucking nothing with this thing. You could get a really nice reduction. But if you're pairing it with a Fang, the Fang is already one of the most accurate weapons in the entire game. It has a double roll on the accuracy table. It has a different minimum hit and a different maximum hit, which we're going to be obviously boosting with super combats and piety and all that kind of thing. I personally do not think you need to take a Bandos Godsword. There might be better weapons out there. I'm just going to say the Dragon Warhammer is fucking absolutely terrible and you should not bring it with you. And of course, it's not using slash. It's inaccurate as fuck and you shouldn't be taking this weapon whatsoever. You're just going to waste so much special attack energy that you could otherwise use on something else. Now, the Dragon Claws are very good here. I don't have them at the moment. I had them. I sold them. I ended up trading up to a Void Waker, and the Void Waker is what the fuck I'm going to talk about. Now, the Void Waker is very simple. You click special attack and things die. That is how it works. It does an amazing magic-based special attack, which can deal up to 80 damage. It is ridiculously accurate. So when you do get Duke Sucellus to his enrage phase, a couple of clicks of the Void Waker is gonna fucking melt him. So if you do have the spare 150 million to drop on this, I would go for a Void Waker. If you don't have that and you just want to take some sort of special attack weapon, I'd take the Bandos God Sword, okay? And if you don't have either of them, honestly, the Fang is going to do you right on its own and save up an inventory slot. You're not going to need it. But if you are taking one over these three, take the fucking Void Waker. Next, let's go ahead and talk about our inventory setup. So obviously on the top left, we have brought with us our Void Waker as our special attack weapon. Now, we are going to be pairing this. This is a great suggestion by one of my followers, Dan, with a light bearer. So in between the puzzle section of the boss, because there's a main boss fight and a puzzle section, you can swap between your Warrior's Ring imbued and the light bearer to get your special attack energy back. Again, if you're not bringing any special attack weapons with you, you're going to free up 2 inventory spaces here. But if you are taking a spec weapon, the light bearer switch is great. We're going to bring a Book of the Dead because we're going to need it to cast thralls. Now, I use the Ghostly Thrall. It's on the Arceus spellbook. You absolutely should have this. This is almost mandatory. It will save so much time on your kills. Just go ahead and put some spell filters on to make life really easy for you. And also, things I don't see mentioned in that many videos on YouTube, you can buy a really cheap programmable mouse with buttons on the side of it, which I've got, and I've mapped it to different F keys, so I can instantly switch between my inventory, the spell book, and to my magic spell book, and to my prayer book instantly. This is a really good thing to have for pretty much all bossing across the game. Anyway, so Book of the Dead, we've got 2 super combat potions with us. We've got a few super restores with us. And we are filling the rest of the inventory up with manta rays. But honestly, I would say that sea turtles are perfectly fine. Even sharks are fine. This boss drops loads of supply drops. And you're going to have pretty long trips here. I'd probably recommend sea turtles just because they are cheaper than the manta rays. But as you do this boss, you're going to notice that Sometimes you're going to use more food, sometimes more prayers, so you're going to tailor it depending on how well you're killing it. One stamina potion is also mandatory. We've of course got our teleport to get there. This will either be the Icy Basalt or the Ring of Shadows, or one-click teleport away. I'm using a house teleport tab so that we can obviously go straight to our house, use our rejuvenation pools and all that stuff. And then we have our rune pouch with the necessary runes in it to cast our thralls, which are Cosmic, Blood, and I believe Fire runes. Next, if you are on RuneLite, go onto the plugins and go on tile indicators. If you don't have it for any reason, just search up tile indicators, but go on tile indicators, go on your settings and make sure that highlighted tile is checked, okay? On top of that, you want to highlight your true tile. Now it's time to learn about some game mechanics. So when you are killing this boss, you're essentially going to be hiding behind these pillars. Now having your destination tile will instantly let you know whether or not you've misclicked. Now I'm going to teach you something really fucking cool that you're not seeing in loads of YouTube videos unless you watch a fuckload of RuneScape YouTube videos. When you click to run and you have got, for example, run on, you will notice that you're skipping 2 tiles at a time. Now watch this. If I click to walk, okay, so if I'm holding control and I click walk, you're going to see that my character is individually going to walk on every single tile. This is really important because I'm going to teach you some things that are going to make this boss way easier for you. You'll also notice that the true tile is always a little bit ahead of your character, and that's because the game is actually registering your true tile as where you actually are at all times, not necessarily where you see your character model. Again, this is all stuff where if you're relying on true tiles, it's going to be way easier. Now, I'm just going to imagine, you see this manta ray on the floor? This is going to represent the beams that I'm going to show you in the Duke Succellus's lair that can hit you for like 60 damage, all right? So I'm just going to put, for example, a manta ray on the floor, and I'm going to set down a few of them. So these are 3, and these represent 3 beams that you're going to have to walk across. Now, if I click on run, and I start from this certain tile, I will never ever hit the manta rays. It doesn't matter if I'm walking directly through a beam, it's never going to register my character as on these tiles. You can use this for running over poison. There's various different bosses like the Whisperer where this is incredibly useful, but you want to make sure that you have true tile on, and we're going to do tile skipping here. Before we continue, go to the description of this video and copy the tile pack that I have put in the description. All of these different tiles, they will be in the description. You are going to right click on the world map and you can import tile markers, and you will get all of these lovely tiles I have painstakingly put down for you. And while you're there, hit the fucking like and subscribe video, because I'm the best upcoming RuneScape YouTuber out there and I love you all. Anyway, what you want to do is drop a load of your manta rays at the start of the room to free up some inventory space. You're in an instance here, so they are not going to disappear. You're going to go ahead and grab yourself a pickaxe off one wall, and you're going to grab yourself a pestle and mortar off the other wall. Now, before we can wake this lazy bastard up and start killing him, we need to create 2 potions with these 2 vats on either side of this room. So let's jump in, and I'm going to show you how to make the potions and where our tile skipping effect will come into play. Now, on either side of the room is this fetish nightmare where you are going to have to run across these tiles that I have laid down, starting from green to green, and then you are going to pick these mushrooms off the walls. These are on either side of the room. Now, if you have 80 herb lore, you only need 2 mushrooms. If you don't have 80 herb lore, you are going to need 3 of each. Now, these red tiles I have laid down represent the hitbox from each of these weird fetish eyes when they blast themselves out of the wall. If you are standing anywhere within these red tiles, you're going to get slapped for massive fucking damage, or die if your health is already low. You'll also see on the floor, you have these small shadows that can pop up and hit you. Now, you're going to have to just start from one green tile, and you can run straight to the other green tile, and you will never ever get hit by the things on the wall. The only thing you've got to look out for are the shadows that appear on the floor, but they are very easy to avoid. You'll get used to it, and if you have to, you can stop on any of the yellow tiles and you'll be totally safe. The next thing you're going to need is to mine 12 salts from these little salt crystals that are located on either side of the Duke's lair. And when you've got all your ingredients, you are going to smack them into the vats, and you are going to be able to then use them on Duke and wake him up. Now, what I'm also showing you here are 2 green tiles that show attack. I'm going to show you how to basically walk attack him as you run from one side of the room to the other. You do not need to do this. It's all part of the mechanics of the boss. I'm going to explain everything, so don't worry about it. This is going to be a step-by-step guide, and it's going to make it really easy for you. So you can pick and choose what you want to do with this guide, but you're not going to have any problems with this whatsoever. When you run from one side to the other, when he does a certain special attack, you can hit him at a certain point in time, and I'm going to show you. So starting off, we're just going to run through, make sure the gas has stopped and time it out, and just run and grab yourself 12 of these salts, which you will mine very, very quickly. As soon as you have got these 12 salts, go ahead and click the first green tile. You can see that I've gone straight to it, and then I can immediately click the mushroom, and I'm going to run all the way across, pick 2 mushrooms, and I'm going to take no damage from the wall beasts or whatever the fuck these things are. Go back to a green tile, click on the vat, and start grinding up these mushrooms. If you put the mushrooms directly in without pestle and mortaring them, you're going to have to go and get more of them. So while you're running, just grind your mushrooms, put them into each side of these 2 vats, and then repeat the same thing again. Run across, grab the 2 mushrooms, click onto the green tile to start with, run over to the next green tile, grind up your mushrooms, and put them into the vat. This is going to give you the 2 potions you need to wake this guy up. Now, just while I'm getting these potions, I should mention that your quick prayers are going to be piety and protect from melee. The next thing I'm going to mention when you've got these is before you run over and start hitting him, make sure the gas dies down. When you start the boss kill, the gas is going to stop popping up and it's going to start a kill sequence. Use both of your potions on him, put your quick prayers on, and then step behind this pillar and spawn your thrall. Now, every time he uses a melee attack, he's going to slam on the floor. You're just going to flinch him. You're going to step out, hit him, step back, step out, hit him, step back. You're going to do this for, let's say, 6 attacks before he does his first special attack. Now, you're not going to need to count anything because the animations are so obvious. Whenever he does his big eyeball attack, you're going to make sure you're standing behind the pillar. And his second special attack, which we're going to see in a second, he's going to spit this acid smoky thing at you, and you're just going to run to the other side of the room like so. Now, if you're running from left to right, as soon as your true tile crosses over the second attack square I put on the floor, you can smack him and immediately click to the pillar, and you're going to get this walk style attack in. Again, you continue the process, you step out, you hit him, you step out, you hit him, and he's going to alternate the special attacks with being either the evil eye, which will one-shot you, so just make sure you're standing behind the pillar, or the spitting thing, which he's going to do now, where you just click him as you're running across and you're going to be able to do damage to him. Really, really easy, very easy mechanics to learn. Now, when he gets below 220 health, I believe it is, he's going to spit 2 of these vents out. It's not going to make any difference to the kill in the slightest, okay? But when he gets to 110, the enrage phase, go ahead and dump a couple of Void Waker specs on him. I've only used 1 here because while I was recording this, I forgot to put the light bearer on in between a kill, so I only had 1 special attack, but it's still going to do loads of damage, and then just finish him off with your Fang or even the Void Waker if you can't be bothered switching back. This was a very sloppy kill, but it's here to show you that this is a fucking easy as hell boss to go ahead and kill. We got 150 mist runes, which means we did a perfect kill. Now, I did a whole trip here. I think we've got 8 to 10 kills, a load of supply drops, all kinds of shit. And as you will see, we got nearly 700k here from what was roughly a 15 to 20 minute trip. You're also going to see lots of Awakener's orbs, which are worth like $1 mil each. And I've estimated that this is like a 4 mil an hour boss, and it's really easy. The Serpentine Helm and the Thralls are going to mean that you're doing consistent damage. And as you do the boss more and more, you're going to learn the mechanics better when he's swapping attack styles and all that stuff. Now, I can tell you that I did 700 kills here to get the pet and to get the Eye of the Duke, which is used to make the Soul Reaper axe. I made over 300 mil here because the cost of the Mage's Vestige, which is one of the other great drops you're going to get, and the Virtus pieces were very high at the launch of this boss, but you're still going to make a couple of 100 mil if you grind out a few hundred kills here. With that said, if you've enjoyed this guide, like and subscribe, and I will see you good folks on the flip side. I'm the Spaz Devil, over and out.